One thing that I love about clairvoyance is that it doesn't require you to be asleep, that you can use your clairvoyance anytime that you're in the waking state, unlike lucid dreaming. And lucid dreaming is something that I have a great affinity for and something that I learned on my own and, I teach a little bit. But in most cases, lucid dreaming, it requires your body to be asleep. And, lucid dreaming, of course, is a path worth exploring. Absolutely. But again, I love clairvoyance because I can just sit down anytime during the day and meditate and access that level of consciousness and intuition, that abstract intuition. And then of course there's out of body experiences. That's always a lot of fun, but in certain practices it can be a lot of effort involved. And of course there's other practices where another ways of getting out of the body is much more effortless. But again, with clairvoyance, I can be grounded and present kind of in my body. And again, it doesn't require me to be asleep. It doesn't require me to get out of the body. I can be right here, right now, and I can start to take a look at energy. That's what clairvoyance is all about. And I also prefer clairvoyance over even like transmediumship. And I love transmediumship as well, another path worth exploring. All of these, lucid dreaming, astral travel, channeling, it's all worth exploring because you do get to heal yourself and learn more about yourself in these different ways and these different paths and exploring these different abilities that we all have. And the thing with mediumship is that, there's some really great healing techniques that you can do and healings that you can experience for yourself and give to others that a lot of people just aren't aware of. And I love that because when you get out of the body, you can move a lot of energy and it's a lot more, it's less difficult. It's much more non-effort, and then you can come back kind of in the body, reintegrate, kind of be renewed and rejuvenated. But most people, when they think of mediumship, they're thinking about channeling. And, it's nice to kind of connect with other beings. But what I love is really focusing on my 6 and 7 chakras, where I'm really kind of centered and taking a look at energy and having the intention of, I can set the intention of looking at whatever I want. And that I'm always trying to look for myself and kind of pull information from out within my own being and see that clearly, as opposed to really communicating with other beings and them giving information to me that way. And I'll still do that. I'll still tune in to other entities and beings and, get information from that way, of course. But again, you got to remind yourself that that's coming from another being. And so when it comes to, accessing my own truth and answers and information, I know that's not outside myself, that it is within myself. And so using my clairvoyance, I can start to take a look at, hey, okay, well, what is my energy? What is my truth? And I can see that in the form of colors and symbols and mental image pictures and really get my answers that way. And it doesn't require me to be asleep or anything like that, that I can just sit down and get grounded and center myself and start to take a look at this and have certain questions and start to get answers, and just working on this visual level. So again, everything is worth exploring, different paths and working with different abilities and all that, absolutely, because you will have different ways to heal yourself and learn about yourself, and they're all very fun and exciting. But I really love clairvoyance probably the most of all of them, because I know when I can sit down, if I can see it clearly, I already had an intention of, okay, I want to look at this, whatever that might be, especially my purpose for this lifetime. Okay, well, I don't really need someone else, whether they have a physical body, or I know it's definitely not in a book, or it's some being that's out on the astral and they don't have a physical body right now. I don't really need them trying to tell me, hey, this is what your mission is. Possible, sure, but I would always like to see that for myself, access that information within my own being. And I think that is much more profound, and that I have this certainty that, hey, I got that from within my own self, and I see it very clearly. Perhaps I see it clearly many, many times, so much so that I have this certainty about it. And I start to graduate to a level of seniority that I'm really choosing my energy, my truth, my purpose to kind of set the tone for this entire lifetime. And what happens for you if that's the case? If really your energy is setting the tone, what is your life going to look like? Remember that before you're born, you had this original intention. You had this mission statement that you kind of mocked up for this life. What's this life all about? And so it's quite powerful to use your clairvoyance to be able to see what is your mission statement and start to access that, and then start to make that real, let that unfold, instead of just kind of following programming and fulfilling other people's expectations and what they want of you. And usually that leads to being disappointed or upset or angry or just not fulfilled. So I highly value clairvoyance so that I can really see what is my truth and walk in that direction.